Google Ads has changed forever. The old way of improving your ROAS simply doesn't work anymore. Your campaigns are bleeding money faster than ever and your customer acquisition keeps climbing. And you're competing against those with million-dollar budgets who can afford to lose money on every sale. Literally everyone with a Shopify store is realizing how lucrative Google Ads can be, and they're getting harder and harder to run profitably by the day. We've seen dozens of changes that have been made to Google Ads this year. iOS privacy updates, AI-powered Performance Max campaigns taking over, Google's shift to first-party data requirements, and the complete overhaul of the keyword match types. Your Google Ads strategy has to evolve. That's why in today's video, I'm going to share with you the most up-to-date blueprint for running a profitable Google Ads in 2025 so that you can finally achieve a sustainable ROAS that actually grows your business instead of just burning through your budget. Back in the day, running Google Ads was like conducting an orchestra. We had complete control over every single element of our campaigns. We spent hours building massive negative keyword lists to block irrelevant traffic. We set up meticulous bid caps on every single keyword to control our costs down to the penny. The level of granularity was incredible. We structured campaigns separately for each product range, creating one campaign for running shoes, another one for hiking boots, and yet another one for casual sneakers. But Google has systematically stripped away most of these controls through the automation and AI. So now those carefully crafted negative keyword lists are treated as mere suggestions that Google often ignores when it thinks it knows better. The bid caps we relied on have been removed or made largely ineffective by smart bidding algorithms. Campaign structures are being simplified whether we like it or not, with Google aggressively pushing everything into Performance Max and smart campaigns that give us minimal control. Even keyword match types have been consolidated and broadened, taking away the precise targeting controls that made us feel like marketing geniuses. The core of the problem is that store owners are trying to optimize something that they no longer have any control over. You simply cannot micromanage an AI system the same way you managed manual campaigns. It's like trying to steer a self-driving car. While everyone's desperately fighting over the scraps of control that Google left us, frantically adjusting the few levers that remain, they're completely missing the bigger picture. I had a client who was a perfect example of this old-school approach. They were spending $12,000 a month, managing hundreds of negative keywords, running dozens of separate campaigns, and constantly adjusting bids up and down. But despite all this effort, their ROAS was stuck at 2.3, and they were spending more time managing campaigns than actually growing the business. They were working harder, but not smarter. Here's the reality that most advertisers haven't accepted yet. Since we've lost control over the campaign side, the winning move is to go back to the fundamentals and optimize what we do have control over, that is the store itself. It's not about admitting defeat, it's about playing the smarter game. While we know that everyone else is fighting Google's algorithms and trying to hack their way to success, we're making sure that when the traffic does hit our site, it converts at the highest possible rate. So instead of wasting energy trying to outsmart Google's AI, we focus on the timeless fundamentals that will always matter regardless of what platform we're advertising on. This means building genuine trust and credibility so visitors actually want to buy from us, not just browse and leave. We make our store's positioning crystal clear by answering the fundamental question: what specific problem do we solve for our customers? We ensure our navigation works perfectly so customers can find what they need without frustration. We optimize our product pages with all the information customers need to make a confident purchasing decision. And we create a frictionless checkout process that doesn't hemorrhage sales at the final crucial step. What's beautiful about this approach is that these optimizations work regardless of what changes Google makes to the platform next month or next year. When your conversion rate is higher, you can afford higher cost per click than your competitors while maintaining the same profitability. Better user experience means that your users will be happy using your website. Google will discover that and make your advertising costs lower. Most importantly, you're building a sustainable business foundation, not just optimizing for this quarter's campaign performance. Remember that $12,000 a month client I mentioned? Instead of continuing to fight Google's automation, we completely shifted focus to store optimization. We increased their conversion rate from 1.8 to 4.2% through systematic improvements to the site. And the result? That 2.3 ROAS suddenly became a 5.1 ROAS without changing a single thing in the Google Ads campaign. Same traffic, same ad spend, more than double the return. By the way, if you need some help implementing some of the stuff in this video and want to work with me directly and scale your brand to 7 figures, you can click the first link in the description to book a free strategy call with me. But first, let me finish showing you the complete strategy. The harsh truth is that most e-commerce stores look like they were built yesterday by someone's nephew, giving visitors zero confidence to actually purchase from them. This is especially critical in today's environment, where people are increasingly cautious about who they give their money to. For that reason, we systematically build trust signals throughout the entire customer journey, making potential buyers comfortable with the idea of handing over the credit card information to a business they've never heard of before. This process starts with displaying genuine customer reviews prominently throughout the site, not hidden away in a separate page that nobody visits. We strategically place trust badges, security certificates, money-back guarantees where customers' eyes naturally naturally look when they're evaluating whether to trust the website. A really good authentic About Us page becomes crucial. It needs to tell your brand story and show real people behind the business, not just stock photos of some random models pretending to be your team. We take this further by featuring actual customer photos and video testimonials rather than just generic star ratings that could be from anywhere. Finally, we add a live chat or easily accessible contact option so customers know that there's a real human waiting to help and being available if something goes wrong. While your competitors are obsessed with driving more traffic for Google Ads, we focused on converting the traffic that you already have. Think about it this way: a 50% increase in the conversion rate has exactly the same effect on your bottom line as a 50% increase in traffic, but it costs nothing in extra ad spend. So essentially getting more sales from the same advertising budget. Also remember that advertising costs increase exponentially, so if you double your advertising budget, you wouldn't even double your traffic. This sort of trust optimization typically increases conversion rates by 40 to 80% within the first month of implementation. One of our clients saw average order value increase by 35% simply because customers felt more confident making larger purchases when they trusted the brand. The psychological impact of trust cannot be overstated. It affects every single metric that matters to your business. Let me show you where most stores completely miss the mark. The first reason is they fail to clearly communicate the problem that they solve for the customers. Visitors land on your homepage and have absolutely no idea why they should buy from you instead of Amazon or any of the dozen other competitors selling similar products. This confusion creates hesitation, and hesitation kills conversions faster than almost anything else. The solution starts with leading with the core problem you solve, not just rattling off a list of what you sell. Your headlines need to speak directly to customer pain points and desired outcomes, not just product features and specifications. That's why we create crystal clear category pages that help customers find exactly what they need without having to think too hard about it. Product descriptions are rewritten to focus on benefits and real-world outcomes rather than technical specifications that only engineers care about. This extends to using your customer's actual language in your copy, not industry jargon that sounds impressive but means nothing to real people. Your unique selling point needs to be obvious within 5 seconds of landing on any page of your site. If a visitor can't immediately understand why your store exists and how it helps them, you've already lost them. This sort of clear positioning also helps Google itself understand what your site's actually about, which in turn improves ad relevance and ad quality scores, making your bids cheaper. All of that has a compounding effect. Better positioning leads to better ad performance, which leads to lower costs and higher profits. I worked with a home fitness client who was selling premium exercise equipment to anyone and everyone. We repositioned the store about helping busy parents stay fit without leaving home or finding childcare. Same exact products, but conversion rates doubled overnight because the positioning was clear and emotionally relevant to the target audience. Next is your website navigation. It needs to function like a well-organized physical store where customers can quickly find what they're looking for and naturally discover related products they didn't even know existed. Most online stores fail this test miserably, creating frustrating experiences that send potential customers straight back to Amazon where they know they can find things easily. The typical e-commerce site has confusing menus with too many options, search functions that don't really work, and force customers to work way too hard to find the products they want to buy. We take a completely different approach by creating intuitive navigation that guides customers naturally toward purchase decisions rather than making them feel like they're solving a puzzle. This starts with simplifying your main navigation to 5 or 7 crystal clear categories at max. Any more than that will create decision paralysis. Your search bar needs to actually work and show relevant results. It sounds basic, but you'd be amazed at how many stores get this wrong. Product categories should match how your customers naturally think about your products and not how you organize them in your warehouse. We implement breadcrumbs so customers never get lost and they'll always know when they are in your site structure. Related product suggestions appear on every page to increase the average order value naturally. Most critically, we ensure mobile navigation works flawlessly since the majority of your traffic is coming from mobile devices, especially from Google Ads. Chloe client came to us with a bounce rate of 68%, meaning more than 2/3 of the visitors were leaving immediately after landing on the site. We completely restructured the navigation system, and within 30 days, their bounce rate dropped to only 31%. More importantly, the average session duration increased by 140%, and pages per session doubled, indicating that people were actually engaging with the site instead of fleeing in frustration. But even if everything else on your site is absolutely perfect, a broken or complicated checkout process will completely destroy your ROAS. This is where most stores lose the sale. After doing all the hard work of getting someone ready to buy, we optimize every single step of the purchase process while strategically using upsells and cross-sells to increase the average order value, maximizing the revenue from every customer you've paid to acquire. The checkout process needs to be streamlined to the absolute minimum number of steps, ideally a single-page checkout that doesn't require customers to create an account before purchasing. Always offer multiple payment options, including buy now, pay later services that removed price objections for higher ticket items. Progress indicators show customers exactly how many steps remain so they don't abandon the process out of uncertainty. Security badges need to be prominently displayed right at the payment entry point, where trust matters most. Throughout this process, we strategically offer relevant upsells and cross-sells that genuinely add value rather than feeling pushy. Cart abandonment recovery sequences automatically follow up with people who started the checkout process but didn't complete it. Order bumps and post-purchase upsells maximize revenue per customer without requiring additional advertising spend. Here's how all this ties together. Higher average order values fundamentally change the economics of your advertising. If your average order value is 150 and your competitors is 75, you can literally afford to bid twice as much for the same keywords and still maintain the same profit margins. This gives you a massive competitive advantage in the auction system that Google Ads has become. Let me give you an example. An electronics client was losing 40% of potential customers during the checkout process due to a complicated multi-step system that required account creation and multiple form submissions. We streamlined the entire process, added strategic upsells and accessories and extended warranties. The conversion rate increased by 60%, but more importantly, the average order value jumped from $89 to $127. The combined effect meant that the ROAS went from 2.8 to 6.2 purely from checkout optimization with no changes to their advertising campaigns whatsoever. So that's the new way to improve your Google Ads ROAS in 2025. If you want to see the complete breakdown of my paid ad strategy with all the technical details and exact campaign setups, check out this video on screen where I walk you through everything step by step. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.